the first visionary of fraud interview that you did was on Richard Dawkins. As someone who is engaged in science as well as the arts, this is someone that I find despicable in a lot of ways. He has taken all the potential that he had as a good science writer and communicator and thrown it away to become a professional atheist. Yet you will find throughout these visionary and fraud interviews that they don't stay on topic and they don't talk about it. And what's enraging about this interview is that the guy who has the negative stance on Dawkins loses the debate because he can't stay on topic. He can't. He doesn't get as many good points in as the pro Dawkins guy, and anyone who listens to this may come away thinking more of Dawkins when he is someone who is a complete and utter fraud. You can point it to the evidence in how badly his writing has declined, but also in how bigoted he is. Any religious topic, regardless of its context, is something that Richard Dawkins will hurl upon and give his bigoted views. He's as bad as the racist views that you can espouse in all sorts of things. But the thing that enrages me the most about him is his closed-mindedness, the fact that he can't see past his own ego. And I just want you to speak about Richard Dawkins, the inauguration of Visionary and Fraud, and also if you agree with my stance that the pro-Dawkins guy actually won the debate out of the two.
Well, as far as that, I've only done 2 of them because it's difficult to get people. A lot of these people are mamby-pamby. A lot of these people who write about someone being an idiot don't want to go on camera. They'll write about it, or I did Dawkins first, then I did Kurzweil. My next one was going to be Noam Chomsky, but I couldn't get any of the negative Chomsky people on unless they were right-wing people who disliked him for his politics rather than for his ability, his desire to speak on things he has nothing to do with. I recently wanted to do a visionary of fraud one on Alain de Botton, that pop cultural psychologist idiot that I don't think knows anything. So I contacted 3 women who wrote negative articles on him. None of them wanted to appear on camera. A guy who is a philosopher who wrote about him as a bad philosopher said he didn't want to do it or whatnot. And they all use this mamby-pamby stuff. It's like, goddamn, stand behind your stuff, criticize someone or whatnot. You're absolutely right. The negative Dawkins guy lost the debate. And it wasn't even, I think, particularly close, because his views on Dawkins were not really because Dawkins has strayed outside of this or that. It's that Dawkins is a bigot or Dawkins is this. He had his own axe to grind against Dawkins, and that's not the fucking point. And it was frustrating. Both of the guys were nice enough guys. They were gentlemanly and whatnot, so I'm not saying in that sense. But goddamn, stick to the topic. It's called Visionary or Fraud. When I wanted to do the Chomsky one and when I wanted to do the Kurzweil one, the guy who's pro Kurzweil didn't want to do it for a while because it was visionary fraud. I'm saying, what am I supposed to title the series? Okay guy or so-so guy? All of these people that I've said have been called in print at one point or another a visionary. Other people have called them a fraud. Visionary or fraud. I think
the Kurzweil one went. You gave too much leeway to them. They never stayed on topic throughout that entire interview.
Yeah, and I because the one guy, the pro guy, was so aggressive and whatnot, I was like, okay, I sometimes like to let people go. The problem was with that guy is he's sort of a Kurzweil cultist, and at least the 2 Dawkins guys were professional. The anti-Kurzweil guy who appeared on a couple of shows, he appeared on the Essay Show, and he's going to appear on a show on JFK that I'm going to do in a month or so. He's a nice guy and whatnot.
Norman Ball, is it?
Norman Ball. But in a sense, he was too nice. And he's another one who, in private, gets critical of him, but he doesn't want to fucking put his balls on the line. I don't understand this. It's like if I'm going to rip someone, if I'm going to rip David Foster Wallace, it's not ripping him on a personal level. But people can't get beyond that. I'm not saying David Foster Wallace was a bad writer because he's a bad person, or he cheated on his wife, or this, that, or the other thing, other things people have claimed. It's because he was a bad fucking writer, and I have pointed out specifically what's wrong. I could have I could have taken the anti-Dawkins point of view, and I even said talk about I beforehand, and I once or twice in the show I said, well, let's talk about Dawkins, you know, uh, giving up science so that he could go on these lecture tours with the four horsemen of the atheism or something, so that he could make $20,000 or $50,000 a pop. An hour and a half, 2 hours of speaking, and these people get $20,000 or $50,000 to speak. It's absurd. What kind of university would waste that kind of money for this? This is what I talk about academia and fraud. There is nothing that Richard Dawkins could say, even if he was talking about memes or about the selfish gene, the only two things in his career that people will remember him for. Even if he was talking about that, he's not worth $20,000 for 2 hours, $10,000 an hour. There's nothing that he can say that's that important. But and these people, they don't get that, and they shy away from it. So I don't know if I'm ever even going to be able to do another debate, a visionary or fraud debate, unless it's on people who are dead, like an Ayn Rand. Then maybe someone will get to do it. The Chomsky people were scared off that Chomsky is too powerful within academia, and so it's sort of, they're just infected by being these pussies that don't want to talk about things, and it is frustrating.